You're listening to the Catholic Accent Podcast. We discuss the acts that Jesus performed that stunned his disciples.
Great to be back, Jordan.
You don't know us by now, you're never getting to know us.
I'm Jordan Waco here with Father Hamilton and Father Pujol.
And we're both stunned.
All right, so today we're talking about the apostles' a miraculous escape. There was a prison break, right?
Peter and Paul.
Today's episode focuses on the prison escape found in Acts of the Apostles. What would prisons have been like back then?
I'm assuming not fun. Like they're probably just a post with
And
Some hay.
holes in the ground.
Yeah, there's no cots, I guess, huh?
No, and they were chained. We know they were all chained.
Okay, so they're chained to the wall, so they couldn't even move around.
No, it's like
there wasn't a lot of room for activities.
Yeah, you would not want
They
to
couldn't
be,
like bang a cup off the bars.
No, no.
I haven't thought of that image in forever.
Now Peter or Paul probably would have been treated a little bit better because he was a Roman citizen, but not much. I mean, as we said
They're
in the
probably
previous
still in like Gen Pop, right?
yeah, but
General Pop.
as we said in a previous episode, the best he could get by his execution was beheading. So don't expect it to be a luxury resort.
Spoiler
for him.
alert. We're talking about the escape right now.
Yeah,
So both
well, that's much later.
both St. Peter and St. Paul have miraculous escapes from prison. The first account is of St. Peter in prison because of miracles he was performing. So what happened that got St. Peter thrown into prison?
Father, why don't you tell us about the story of Ananias?
Well, before Ananias, basically Peter's working up a lot of the people that are in power around these areas, namely the Sadducees, who have a lot of political power. And so they seek to try to throw him in prison. But the fun story, I don't know if it's that fun, but of
2,000 years later,
yeah.
it's you can laugh about it.
Ananias and his wife, they have money that they're collecting for the Christian community.
So they're like the first ushers taking up the collection.
I guess. But if ushers decided to then keep all the money for themselves and not send it up in the basket and then lie about it
To Peter.
to Peter, spoiler alert, it doesn't go well. This is why you don't lie, kids. Ananias and his wife are dead after that. It's not implied that Peter killed them or anything else like that, but
But they
something
could have
fell
been
them.
happens.
spited.
Yeah. And so lying and stealing going together
The
is
guilt got to them.
a remedy for destruction.
Well, it shows what happens when we break the 10 Commandments.
Mortal sin.
Mortal sin
Yeah.
and full removal from God and his presence.
And so after that, then we get directly that Peter is thrown in prison, but probably more so from the Sadducees. And there he's
because
held.
they think that he...
No, not necessarily. Why he's in prison is because
Rabble rousing.
of preaching the message of Jesus resurrected from the dead.
Mhm.
And the Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection. If Jesus is true, then the Sadducees kind of lose their own political authority. You see what I'm saying?
And at this point, the Sadducees want to get the whole community of elders together to put him on trial.
Who
And
are
that's
the Sadducees?
It's going to take some
Like,
time,
what
so
is
they have to
that?
hold him.
The Sadducees were the religious authorities of Jesus' time. So not just like based on the Torah or the Old Testament scriptures, but really were those that were in charge of the temple area and worship, the priests.
So they're like the guards, like the police.
No,
I'm gonna look it up.
priestly
Hold
temple
on.
worship.
Who? They were philosophical gurus who represented the aristocratic Israelite upper class. They worked behind the scenes.
So this is like a perfect storm to have St. Peter arrested because he's healing the sick, he is preaching the good news,
exercising.
and he's doing exorcisms.
not
which,
exercising people as doing lunges or
but
pull-ups.
but demonic exorcisms, the
Demonic.
driving out of unclean spirits,
Yeah.
and
A little less fun.
and
the
so that
jazzercise, yes.
that really starts to set off a firestorm among the community and the Sadducees' power over that community.
Then what happened once St. Peter is in prison? There's a story about an angel helping him, correct? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Lord came to his aid.
Yeah, and so the angel coming to Peter in the midst of the night in a vision, but real, and then from there freeing Peter and the other companions that have been arrested and thrown in prison because of their stirring up the community.
Which leads us to the second imprisonment of St. Peter.
Because the next day they're found, like the very next day, they're found in the temple, right? Teaching.
Right back at it. Yeah.
Right back at it. Yeah, like nothing ever happened. Imagine being that guard. I mean, he's definitely out of a job.
They killed him. So
They did. So,
So he's definitely out of the job then.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we see
out
St.
of the
Peter
life.
and these Christians.
no health care benefits.
No severance pay.
No severance
Well, there was
pay.
maybe a severance.
They severance.
Severance is dead. So they
Sorry,
go right.
R.I.P.
No, they go right back into their mission and ministry, which shows that they're not afraid of what the world can do to them, because what they are preaching is otherworldly. And so then we see a little bit later, St. Peter is once again arrested for preaching and for bringing up these groups. And what do? This time they are going to make certain that he's not going to escape. And so they have 4 guards, more chains. I mean, he is in like total isolation, cell
Maximum
block
security.
D.
Mhm.
What do they say? In the hole. He's in the
No,
hole.
in the hole.
In the shoe. And that is where they
He's
want
just
him
using
to
like
stay.
Orange is the New
I mean,
Black.
I never heard in the shoe. What he's like, old Mother Hubbard? Or
Okay, so he's in solitary confinement, and
He's in lockdown.
but not just solitary confinement. He is chained up like a magician and has to
but he's not
have his.
Simon the magician.
No, he's not
He's
Simon
Peter.
the magician, but he has to have like this great escape again.
Yeah.
Right. So what did that look like? Did the angel help him again, or who? What helped him?
The angel came back, right? And so the idea, what it shows is that the message of God can't be chained down by
Mm.
those that are fighting against the gospel message, that God will overcome insurmountable odds so that the message is freed. It's able to be spoken to those that need to hear it. Those who have ears ought to hear.
And it's a great example to us. I mean, so when you go to Rome, Jordan, and you'll have to visit, there's a little parish called San Pietro in Vincoli, which is St. Peter in chains. And underneath the high altar, you'll see a big crystal reliquary where those chains that were binding St. Peter in prison are now kept for veneration and view.
Do they look rough? Like, what do they look like?
They're old iron chains.
Mhm. Not comfortable.
Not comfortable, no. And so they have been saved as a sign of Christ's power and Peter's primacy, as a symbol, like Father said, that nothing holds back the word of God and nothing can contain our preaching of the gospel. It's worth noting that when Peter is freed the second time from prison, that he doesn't flee from the area that he's preaching at, but rather he returns to the community close to him of Christians for care and to prepare to continue to give his life for the gospel.
So then where's Paul? Because that's the other side of this prison break story, or stories that we're talking about today.
Paul's caught up as well in the same ordeal where he's being put away because of the different miracles that are being worked, the message that he's bringing about, healings and so forth. And he finds himself landed in prison, just like Peter. Again, we talked about them being twins in a way. They really have a lot of similarities to their stories and how they experience the same
Are
thing.
these happening the same time, just in different locations?
Within the same period, yeah, because they're out there preaching
Yeah.
the same time.
When they were in the prison, they didn't actually escape. There was an earthquake that, rumbled the halls, right?
For St. Paul.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's still an escape, but
Yeah.
not in the same way.
There's no angel
So-
freeing him this time.
So the earthquake opened the floor, and they what?
He went out, but then on his way, going out from the prison, he sees that the jailer's there, probably recognizing that with this earthquake and now that there's nobody there,
Everybody
prisoners-
has escaped.
The jailer's
He
like,
is-
I am going to lose my job. I'm going to
He's really afraid of the other thing that
I'm going to
happened.
take my own severance package right now.
So that's what he seeks to do so that they don't enforce the law upon him.
Which
and-
would be death.
Yeah. And at that point, then Paul steps in and says to him to not do.
Do not
that.
harm yourself.
And then from there, preaches to him and asks him about baptism and belief in Jesus. And there the jailer takes Paul back to his family. And then Paul has them all baptized.
So that really shows you, what Paul was really like. It wasn't about freeing, the earthquake Yes, he could have escaped and ran off into the night, but he stopped to help somebody else.
Well, and I think Paul would have recognized part of himself in the jailer because we talked about how Paul would often be present by these um, persecution of Christians and maybe even assisting. And so now he has the opportunity to show the jailer, look how my life has changed. Look how many good things have come out of it because of this Jesus. And so he's a credible witness. And so he's able to go to the family and bring faith.
What's so beautiful in these stories, too, about Paul and Peter is that they have to have faith in God's providence, that God will take care of them. Now, the angel came and freed Peter the first time, but that doesn't mean the angel comes again and frees him a second time. He has to continue to trust that the earthquake happens, that Paul is taken care of in his missionary abilities and going forth. It's all about God's providence, that they are giving themselves to the mission and letting God just take care of everything else. And they're okay with it, whether they're imprisoned, whether they're free, whether they're preaching the gospel, whether they're muffled by other people not wanting them to preach. They just put themselves at the disposition of God and they go with it.
And that was the exact revelation that the jailer had, right? Because then he takes them to his house and baptizes his entire family to free them as well of sin.
Yeah, that's interesting. Frees them from sin, frees them from death. And it's really, that's the true chains that need broken in the world. The chains of sin, which hold us back from our true life.
Thanks for listening to the Catholic Accent Podcast. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to our show.
What we really take away from these prison stories and why they're important for us in the Acts of the Apostles is that Jesus came to preach liberty to captives, not just in a physical sense, but that really we were held spiritually captive by the devil, the one that wants to control us, that wants to tie us down, our attachments to not the creator, but to the creature, the things of the world. And
Which
so
we would call sin.
and sin, that's what sin is. And so for us, Jesus comes to free us by his own death and resurrection, by the preaching of the gospel message through the church, that there's so much more to life than just this myopic little view, but it opens up a beautiful horizon of freedom found in Christ. And that's why there's real freedom in Christianity, using our own agency, our own ability, and giving it to God. It doesn't restrict us and chain us, but rather it frees us to the great things that God has in store for us.